tape off because we're going to paint the edges. Still hanging out. It's checkerboards, and I can't seem to keep them in my booth right now. So I find old cutting boards, old wood, that is nice and large in size to make them into primitive folk art checkerboards. So I'm going to try to save this little detail at the top of this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it taped off. The color I chose for this chalkboard is DIY's Aviary. So it's a, it's a nice, rich green. Oh, look at that green. That's a fun green. Add a little water to it because the wood is dry and it's catching. The things that got me attracted to DIY paint is that I can dry it in between coats and move on with the project. The colors are amazing too. This is why I don't want to use new wood, because it gives it so much character, all those cut marks, and then how it takes differently in different areas where there's probably staining, you know, oils and stuff. But oh my gosh, it really gives it that old-timey look. Not like pre-sanding or doing anything like that, just letting the wood take whatever paint it's going to take in. So for my second coat, I just wet it down a little bit to make it so it slides a little bit easier, glides. So now I need to take the tape off because we're going to paint the edges. And the fun about folk art primitive is you can do it. The colors are just the colors. So I'm going to do DIY's Bohemian, which is a nice blue color. Let's see how my tape job does. I feel like I need that tape on there right now. There. Only because I don't want to take all day, you know. Like before I move on to start doing any checkerboard or anything, I'm going to go ahead and seal this in with some polyacrylic clear matte. So now I'm doing a checkerboard, and I have this cute little bunny. Hello, bunny. And then as accent, I have this stencil because the board is kind of on the big side. So I've already kind of measured for my checkerboard anyway. So I'm doing a checkerboard with Bohemian blue. Applying the Bohemian blue with a makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree store. Ooh, the satisfying of taking the tape off. Oh. Doo-doo. But I need to make sure that I leave room for this in the outline so he can be kind of high up. There's a little hole where there was somebody probably hung it. So 5 feet in there. So I'm just going to not even tape it down. Got it where I want it to be. So just going for it. I'll probably regret it. I'll probably shift on me. So now I'm going to outline my checkerboard itself. So I'm just going to run some tape right on top of the edge of the squares there. And then to make it a square, we'll just take an X-Acto knife, cut off the excess tape. It's nice to overlap them though, because then you get that nice square. You have a guide to cut on. Then you just lay another piece of tape. Just guesstimate how far out you want it to be. I don't need it to be terribly far. There again, just a makeup sponge. There we go. So for my stencil, I'm going to tone down the yellow a little bit because I did queen bee in this one. I'm going to do cake batter on this one. Which is, cake batter is really seems light. But since the bunny is kind of on the light side, just what looks translucent then becomes a color. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. See? See? You can see it. At first you probably I decided you can't really see the bunny very well. So I tried to match up my stencil as best as I could. I like that pop. But you did hear me say I sealed within polyacrylic, or I don't know what color I would have what the 2 clay-based paints would be mixing together. Okay, let's see if he has a shadow or not. Really not bad. At least he pops down. Unfortunately, the overlap here got a little wonky, but we're going to be distressing it anyway, so it'll be fine. I need to seal all the clay-based paint in, so I'm going to go back in with some of the polyacrylic. I'm going to take some 220 sandpaper and I'm going to sand it, distress it. Now what it'll do, it'll take some of the polyacrylic off, the clear coat off, and it'll go down. Whatever it takes off is what it takes off. So now I'm going to take some Fusion aging wax and then just wipe it on top of it, and that is going to bring it back alive. That is going to add that I've been around for a long time patina. So I'm not sure why nobody wanted this old, look, can you see that? See the waviness of the glass, how old this is? But nobody wanted this at the auction. It was at the end of the pick before they pick them all together. So I picked it up because I knew that I could paint that frame up, even with its brokenness, clean this mirror up, and somebody will love it again. But look at that waviness in the glass. That just shows you how old it is. It definitely needs cleaned. It definitely needs a new back, a new secure hanging system, and I'm hoping to achieve that. Okay, let's get this mirror cleaned off as much as I can. I don't know. I like the age of the imperfections of an old mirror. I know not everybody does. Try to get as much of the back cleaned off as I can. Take the air compressor. I want to make sure that there isn't anything hiding in any of the crevices. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this off. Now that I have it all taped off, I taped off the whole thing because I'm going to be spraying it with some shellac to help it bond to this part that's really super shiny. For the mirror, I am going to actually do In the Pickle, which is a very bright green, but the way you finish it off will give it that distinct look. So Sweet Pickins milk paint, In the Pickle powder, equal parts water. Stir it up until it's all incorporated. Watch the little bubbles. Make sure I get it all off the bottoms and smush it onto the sides. Okay. Stir the paint up just a little bit because it's all kind of settled to the bottom. Wipe my brush off. This is where that shellac is going to come in handy on that really smooth, the really smooth area. And then this is usually the part that's fun, that does some fun stuff. I'm hoping. And then we just paint right over the brokenness. Okay, we have it all painted. We're just going to let it sit off to the side, let it dry before doing the next coat. Okay, now the first coat is dry. We're going to go ahead and apply the second coat, which you'll see is like got a lot more coverage. There is some crackling and some chippiness going on, but we need to get that second coat on to get it covered. Now I'm going to take aging wax right straight out. Think of In the Pickle. Oh my goodness. So aging wax to start toning it down. So working section by section. Then I'll just start to rub off the excess. Whatever comes off, chips off, even the better. Talk about a color change, huh? Hold on, you can't see. That's a huge color change. Now I'm just taking a little bit of the decrepit dust just over those amazing details to pop them up. Like give it a different hue, couple different hues. Like the aging wax is one color, the decrepit dust is another color. And just really give it that age. Okay, time to get the glass cleaned up. So I'm just going to use some of this brown paper tape to hold this down today. I'm at the end of my roll of paper, so sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. It's not that heavy of a mirror, so I'm just going to use these. And I usually always do my mirrors 2 different ways. So somebody, if they don't have that space, then they can hang it the other way. So I have this little guy, somebody spray painted him like maybe it was supposed to look bronze, brass. it just, look at, he just fades into my hair. You can't even see him. So he is a beautiful frog candelabra. So we're going to go ahead, candlestick. So we're going to go ahead and paint him up and get him to pop a little bit more. I'm going to see what I can do with this little guy. So I have Dixie Belle's iron paint out. I think he was spray painted. So I'm just going to go ahead and dab it on, which dabbing it gives it a nice healthy coat. A little bit on the messy side here because it's such a small object to be doing, and you have to get in all the little crevices to do his lily pad. I needed a longer brush to get inside his mouth. So I kind of want him to be a little bit of blue and green, so I'm going to do a little bit of do a little bit of yellow. And then we're going to do a little bit of the green, just get it all going on here. And then we'll see what he becomes. Oh my goodness, how amazing did the little froggy turn out? Oh my goodness. So now I need to seal this in. I'm going to use some Weather Defense metal spray. Oh, what can I say about this winter scene? If I'm not holding the back out, this glass in this picture is going to fall through. The frame is terribly broken up. It has been spilled on, has a huge stain, and nobody wanted it at the auction, so because it's got brokenness. But once you paint that up, you don't see that brokenness, and I just think the age of that scene in there, it's just perfect for the upcoming winter season. So I told you this piece needs some help. Get this print out first. Okay, we got that removed. Now I'm getting this to be back on. As you see, it's not attached anymore. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Not a very fun way that they put that in there by any means. Okay, so we're going to take these off. Probably somehow they might have hung it. I don't know why they are here. I'm going to use some Titebond Quick and Thick. Oops. One nail still hanging out. Okay, it's kind of a hard place for a clamp to go into, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're kind of square. And then we'll go ahead and shoot a brad in there. So for that little frame, we're going to do some flour sack. Still looking for that aged kind of look. So milk paint is perfect. So it's equal parts the dry powder to equal parts water. Hoping for some chippiness or some crazing to match the age. My frame is back together, yay! And I cleaned it off as much as you possibly can with all that detail. We are going to spray it with a few coats of shellac. So my paint has had a chance to thicken up, so I'm going to stir the yummies off the bottom where it's settled. That'll be too much paint on my brush, so I'll wipe that off. But now it's time to get the first coat on this frame. Sometimes you can just kind of have to dab to get into all that wonderful detail. Okay, we have the first coat on. We're just going to let it sit off to the side and dry. Now that the first coat is dry, we're going to go ahead and start applying the second coat. Not too much crazy and crackling going on quite yet, so hopefully when we add that second coat, it will make a difference. I love it. Look at the crackling and the crazing. So now to finish it off, give it some age. I know you guys guessed it, aging wax. Actually, I probably should do clear because I haven't sealed that in. Wax straight on this, it would darken up that paint, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to take clear wax first, and whatever chips off, I'm happy that it'll chip off. I have the clear wax on. Now I'll go in with the aging wax. And wipe off the excess. Like I said, I'm not being gentle. I want to chip off. If you think it's a little dark yet before it dries, just take some more of that clear wax right on top of it. And we'll go pop it. Okay, let's get this glass cleaned up. Oh, it's a dirty. One of those handy dandy tools they used at Hobby Lobby that I had to have. Well worth the investment. There, now that's not going to move. And then we just need to put this back on. So I'm going to use some of this tape to hold the back on. I'm not going to do nails that would scrape up somebody's wall. Can put a hanger on this because that's not going to work very well to put a hanger on. And like I said, it's not, this goes into there, so putting like backing paper on it, it's going to still be bumped. So we're going to put the hanger on the back of this to hang it. Of course it's not the exact, it's not exact, right? 11.5. See if I can get these edges cleaned up just a little bit.